Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Rich Talk. Here on the Rich Talk channel, we are sharing practical steps and how one can overcome roadblocks in their professional and personal development life, working with purpose. Before we get into working with purpose, I want to encourage you, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit a like button. Send us some feedback. Let us know if the content is valuable to you. That way we can bring you information that is going to help you overcome roadblocks and challenges, okay? So let's jump into our topic today. We're going to be talking about working with purpose, okay? Working with purpose, building wealth, okay? Working with purpose, building wealth. Okay, so that's our focus for today. And many people work aimlessly. And so we're going to talk about working with purpose and how working with purpose is a foundation for building wealth. What's your motivation? That's the first point. What do you work for? Are you getting up every day, taking time away from your family to just work aimlessly? Are you working to pay your car note? And now you may think I'm ridiculous, but are you working to buy more stuff? Okay, so many cases we have a lot of stuff. You know, we have garages, you have public storage places now popping up all over the place, and it's all about stuff. What are you working for? Many individuals are working aimlessly without a goal, to the extent that many people, and you probably hear of this, they work for 30 or whatever years, and when they stop working, they just kill over and they die. I mean, what kind of life is that? I mean, that's just a wasteful, horrible, pitiful way of living your life. When I mean working with purpose, having a meaning that motivates you, having a why. So if I'm going to take time away from my family to get up and go to my job every day, it's for a purpose. So my purpose may be different from your purpose, but I have a why that fuels me. I have a motivational fire that propels me into working with intentional purpose, not just going through everyday jobs, just working to pay bills, living from check to check. So that is what I'm talking about. Working with motivation, and many people don't have a source of motivation, and so they work aimlessly, they work arbitrarily. It brings us to the next point, which is liabilities do not appreciate. Liabilities don't appreciate. Many of us consume, right? And so we work to consume, and when we consume, we just go through this iterative process of consuming, making money, and we just keep going right back around and around and around. Liabilities don't appreciate because things that we have, so the car note that you have, when you purchase the car, drive off the lot, it go down in value, okay? And so many of us are so geared towards buying things and thinking not as a producer. So liabilities don't appreciate. Liabilities are things that are not assets. Sneakers, Gucci bags, right? Whatever things, right? If it's not producing money for you, if it's not growing in value, it's a liability, right? It's costing you money, right? So is your car costing money? Yeah. Does it go up in value? No. Now, there are other things that may cost you money, but it goes up in value, and we'll talk about that a little bit, right? So one of the things that we're talking about in working with purpose, right? Working with purpose mean in building wealth, you're not just going to your job every day just to collect a check and just to work aimlessly. Go throughout that process. That's a horrible way to live. I mean, some people don't have a problem living like that, but if you have goals, right? If you care about creating something special for your family, that may not be the best way to go. And the next point that we're talking about is liabilities don't appreciate, right? So things that are liabilities are things that go down in value, they cost you money, and they do not appreciate in value, meaning increase in value. Next point that we want to talk about is become an owner. Now, some of you may be looking at me and saying, become an owner. I don't have a whole lot of money. How am I going to become an owner? Become an owner. So becoming an owner means becoming a person who owns assets. Okay, so let's say it with me. Assets. Okay, and I'm not talking about things that collectibles. I'm not talking about that. When I'm talking about assets, I'm talking about mutual funds. I'm talking about stocks. I'm talking about having a property. These are things that go up in value. One of the things that we many times are misled with is that cash means wealth. Being rich and being wealthy are two separate things. So many of the individuals that you see in the entertainment business or even in the sports industry, these people have maybe a lot of raw cash, but it doesn't mean that they're wealthy, because wealth has to do with the ownership of assets that go up in value, properties, and some of those things that I was alluding to. So when you take your salary, right, your salary is a foundation to building wealth. So when we're talking about working with purpose, the salary that I have, the salary that you have, is a foundational piece for building wealth. So why are we going to just take our money, throw it away, just go buy all these hair products, go buy all these nice shoes, some suits. Well, I like nice suits. I'm not going to say it. I like nice suits. I like to look nice. I'm not going to look like a bum. I'm not subscribing. I'm not encouraging you to look like a bum, okay? If you walk around looking like a bum, then that obviously speaks to your character, okay? Because people are going to look at you and make a decided decision on you based on how you look. I'm talking about being wise. Don't always just spend your money on buying things, but take that money over time and build some wealth. So instead of going and buying a pair of Jordans or a pair of whatever it is that you're buying for $400, why don't you take maybe $100, get a less expensive item, and then take the $300 and invest it? Okay? So these are the things that I'm referring to. Working with purpose. See, when you're working with purpose, you identify with knowing that you're doing things that are going to benefit you over time. Okay? And it's all about being patient, okay? And some people, they just want to have it now, and they want to show all their wealth, all their money on their clothes. You see some people, you see they look nice driving in the Mercedes or whatever. Many of those people, they're stressed out at night because they have to pay that $800 car note, right? Or you see people look nice, smelling good, living in their mom's basement. So this video is a priority check. It is a priority check to stop living from paycheck to paycheck. It is a stop, check, and pivot for just working, getting up every day, buying coffee, working just to do that. No, take your salary and use it to do something constructive by investing your money. Many people, and we're going to wrap up in a bit, many people just work and get their money and they don't even contribute their money to their 401k. I've talked to many of my colleagues, and some of them, are young, and maybe they don't want that deduction to come out their check because they want to have more money. But when we think today about our future, we will be that much more prepared when we get there, okay? Because wealthy people become wealthy because of mindset. My desire is to become wealthy. I'm sure your desire is to become wealthy, right? And it all starts with a mindset and having these practical steps like saving and investing. So I'm going to say that again. Saving and investing. When you buy a home and you own that home, and I would highly recommend buying a multifamily property, a two-family on up, right? When you have a multifamily property, or even if you have just a regular one family, it goes up in value, right? And so many of the benefits, especially when you have a multifamily property, you may spend something on renovating your kitchen, right? Okay, so you just spent money, but you have tax advantages now. You are now able to write that expense off, okay? And so many people, for example, when you work and you may file your taxes, you may make a good amount of money. I know people who make good money, but when they go and do their taxes, they don't get a lot of money back. And the reason is because they don't own any assets. They don't own any assets, and so they're going to get taxed higher. When you have assets, like for example, like a house, it decreases your taxable income. And maybe for one of our future programs, maybe, I'll have somebody on that can get a little bit more into the accounting and finance of it. But when we're talking about working with purpose, we're talking about getting out this rat race, which is working to pay bills all the time, working to pay bills. And we're just walking around with no direction. Let's stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Period. Full stop. We have to get a grip. When we work and we leverage the resources we have, it now becomes a scenario where we can build wealth over time. And so it can give us a situation where we can build our savings and investing to the point where, for example, you may have a passion you want to explore, like baking, right? But because you have these assets now, for example, you can set up a situation where you may be able to transition from your full-time employment and follow your own passions and your dreams. But when you don't establish a framework for saving and investing, one will not have anything to build on. So that's the talk for tonight. Working with purpose. Let's not work just to pay bills, just working aimlessly. Let's have a decisive, calculated goal that we work towards intentionally, right? Like we're thinking about it. So, and I'm just gonna, this last thing. So when you work, for example, you have a salary and you have your bills, budget out some saving and investing. Yes, I said it. Budget out some saving and investing. So for example, I have a spreadsheet, and I have bills that are laid out in that spreadsheet. And there's a portion in that where I have a set of line items for saving and investing because it's something I take seriously, because I want to build something special. I don't want to just work, and when I look back, I'm like, what in the world have I worked for? Have you ever seen cousins and aunties and people in family who work for years, and when they turn around, they're like, what do they have to show for it? This is what we're talking about. Working with purpose, right? Developing a motivation. Realizing that liabilities are not going to appreciate, they're not going to do anything for you. But you have to have a balance, right? You can't save all your money. You do have to enjoy some of it. But also realizing, right, that becoming a owner of assets is a great way to build wealth.